So at 27, you're 30 now?
27.
31?
31.
Wow, man.
Time
We're the
flies.
same age. That's amazing. So at 27, you're a world champion, and that was the pinnacle. That was the peak of the mountain that your whole life you had been striving to get to, right? What was it in that you felt as though you weren't being fulfilled?
You know, I suppose I suffered with depression and anxiety my whole life, from being a little boy to being a man. But I always had a goal of becoming heavyweight champion of the world. And it always brought me back out of the darkness to achieve that goal. And nothing else mattered. I had a lot of tragedy go on in my life, and a lot of stuff happened that maybe could have put me off track of being heavyweight champ. But I always sort of sidetracked all of that and concentrated on the job in hand. And when they said, right, you're going to fight Klitschko for the world championship, I was like, when I win, I'm not going to have a goal anymore. So I almost knew going into the fight that I was going to come down, it was going to be a disaster. I was very depressed going into the fight, going into training camps. I knew I was going to beat this guy. And I remember saying to me dad, my brothers, I said, win, lose or draw, I said, I probably won't fight again after this.
Really?
And he's like,
Why was that?
You boxed all your life to get to this position and you're going to just walk away. I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling it anymore, but I look back in it now and I was very ill going into that fight. I wasn't well-minded. Goes in there, beats him. For 5 minutes, I was happy. And then when I got back to the changing room, I thought, is this it? I've won 5 world title belts. I beat the second longest reigning heavyweight champion in history. What next? I don't have a purpose anymore. I'm finished.
Oh, that's weird, man, because when I was a little kid and I won the title, I fell so in love with that illusion of myself and shit.
Really?
Hell fucking
So you were
yeah.
like, let me conquer more.
Hell
let me
yeah,
dominate.
absolutely,
Let me
yeah.
destroy more people.
Let it be more about me. Let me have the best girl in the world. Let me have the best seat in the fucking restaurant. Give me the best fucking car. I want the best plane. I was fucking all so self-absorbed. You know what I mean? I couldn't fuck enough girls. Couldn't have enough fights. Couldn't have enough fights outside the ring.
Enough power.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. Yeah.
It's so interesting because I very much relate to what you're saying, you know, that feeling of what's next. This is it. This is everything I've every bit of my life that I've dedicated to achieving this thing, and I did it. Now what the fuck am I?
But that's just my negative outlook on everything.
Yeah, that's because we don't have no outlook on self-love.
Yeah.
Back then, when you don't have no self-love, it's so easy to say, that's it. Yeah. When you have self-love, you find so many increment things to do with yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, I played football for everyone but me. I played football to prove everybody wrong, to show everybody how powerful and dominant and scary I was. I played football to destroy other people, to inflict my pain on others. And I never once was playing it just because I loved it, you know? And that's a much more sustainable source of power.
I see a lot of athletes are entertainers, just actors, and people in general with jobs being that way because this is our acceptance.
Yeah.
They're not going to give you the same acceptance if you're not playing on that team than if you're just a retired player. It's a different kind of acceptance.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the same fucking girlfriend that you did as a fucking football player than you would as a retired player. So it's all about continuing to do this stuff, and this is our life. We do this till we can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
It becomes our identity.
Yes.
And we can't even help it. We gotta go to a school to learn how to get out of that shell of ourselves, that mask of our identity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. And it sounds like in those 3 years out and then finding that passion again, you tapped into something a little deeper in yourself.
100%. You know, the first time I was boxing, the first career, I call it 2 careers. The first time was about achieving my dreams, becoming heavyweight champion of the world and all that sort of stuff we just talked about, all that power and what if and all this stuff. But when I got there, I thought, like, this is a lot of shit. It wasn't what I expected.
And from England, that's really hard because England, they look at boxers and fighters from a total different perspective. Yeah. They're like gods out there. So how do you live that life in England? You can't go nowhere.
Exactly.
England, I know he can't go nowhere.
Yeah.
You can't go because they're waiting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You hang out here, there'd be 40,000 people waiting for you in England. They don't fuck around.
That's crazy.
With their fighters, their soccer players and stuff, their rugby players, they're with you 100%. Yeah. How many people? Where did you fight? You fought them in America, right, Dante Wild?
Yeah.
How many people from the UK came over?
About 7,000. Yeah, there was a lot of British fans travelled. But like the second career, it's not about winning belts or anything. I'm just having fun. You know, I box now because I love to fight, and I finally found what I love to do.
What is that?
And that's to be involved in good fights and take punches and hit people back. You know, I go into these fights and I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm like a loose cannon, a crazy character. I don't care if they hit me. I don't care what they do. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to have fun in the fight. They're all serious, like, oh my God, this is a fight. Yeah. And I'm like, doing dances, fucking waving my arms in the air, singing to them.
I noticed that.
I don't care anymore. You know, I've gone past the stage of caring about a fight.
Who was your last fight?
I boxed in Vegas in June 15. I boxed a German guy called Tom Schwartz.
That's right. And I watched all of that pre-fight stuff, man, and your energy was unbelievable. Like you were smiling. You were putting on a show.
We're in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
I was in Las Vegas. I was there to put on a show. I did that. I won the fight. On to the next one.
Yeah.
You know, I'm having fun. I've never been as happy as this in my whole career.
That's awesome.
Never. I'm so happy right now, so mentally well, so unconcerned about what people think of me.